Okay, sixth graders, today we're going to be talking about two concepts, but they're relatively easy, and it shouldn't take too long. We're going to talk about integers and absolute value. First of all, we talked a little bit about integers last week when we talked about rational and irrational numbers. And if you remember, integers are just the whole positive and negative numbers from negative infinity all the way to infinity. So basically, as far as you can count on the right hand side of the number line to the negative end, as far as you can count on the left hand of the number line. So any number that is a whole counting number can go all the way from -7 all the way up until you can't count any further. And they go in both directions. Those are integers. We'll work with integers later on this week on addition, multiplication, subtraction, and division. Right now, all you need to know is that integers are basically the counting numbers on a number line from negative infinity to infinity, and these are the two symbols. It looks like a sideways 8, and then for negative infinity, it looks like a sideways 8 with a negative symbol. Pretty easy to understand. Absolute value is a little bit different. When you think of the term absolute value, I want you to think of the word distance. And I can give you a really good analogy about football. If you follow football and you know that if a running back or quarterback takes the football and they get sacked behind the line of scrimmage, they lose yards. Well, they still went some distance. They just went the wrong direction. So these are the signs for absolute value. Anytime you see this, that's what they're asking you to find, the absolute value, and it's 2 bars on either side of the number. And what it means is anything that's inside of those 2 bars, it really is just that number, because distance can never be negative. You can never go a negative distance somewhere. Distance is always positive. You may be going in the wrong direction from where you want to go, but it's always positive. So if you see these absolute value signs, the number, your answer, is going to be positive. So if I wanted to find out what the absolute value of -3 is, it's going to be 3. And the reason I know that is because the distance between 0 and -3 is 1, 2, 3 units. So distance cannot be negative. Absolute value cannot be negative. When you see those symbols, that's what it means. Another example would be this. When you see a positive number inside of the absolute value symbols, and be very careful that you don't mistake those for ones. That's why I like to make them just a little bit bigger. It's the distance between 0 and that number, and the absolute value of 7 is 7. And it's going to go 7 units away from 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Just a little something to cover tonight, and we will get into this on Tuesday.